You know that filling in your tooth? Well, it didn't start out that way. It began its life as a simple powder, or maybe a paste. So how in the world does it transform into something strong enough to last for years and years? Today, we're going to dive into the hidden science of dental materials, and we're going to follow their incredible journey from the shelf all the way to your smile.
So, have you ever really wondered what the secret is to a filling that actually lasts? Here's a hint. It isn't just about being strong. The success of any dental material, and I mean any of them, depends on it surviving three completely different phases of its existence. Three distinct lives. And here's the kicker. If it fails at any one of those stages, the whole thing is a bust.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to follow that journey step by step. We'll start with its first life, where it's just sitting on a shelf full of potential. Then we'll get into the action of its second life, a crazy race against time during mixing. And finally, we'll look at its third life, where it actually has to do its job for years. You're going to see why every single stage is absolutely critical.
Okay, so the big idea here, the thing you really need to get, is that for a dental material to be considered a success, it has to perform perfectly at three very different points in its life cycle. It's a journey that takes it from pure, untapped potential through a critical transformation and finally to fulfilling its ultimate purpose.
Think of it like this. Step one is the material's potential. It's just sitting there, unmixed, on the shelf. Step two is its transformation. That's the dynamic, time-sensitive period where it gets mixed and starts to set. And step three, that's its final purpose, where the now hardened material has to survive the tough environment inside your mouth.
All right, let's kick things off with its very first life. This part begins long before a patient is even in the dental chair. This is the material's time and storage, and believe it or not, it's all about protecting its potential.
And the key property here is something called shelf life. Now, this is way more than just a best buy date on a milk carton. It's a scientific measure of how long that material can be stored before its chemical components start to break down. If you use a product past its shelf life, it just won't work the way it was designed to. I mean, it could end up weak, set way too fast, or maybe not set at all. A total disaster.
So you might be wondering, how do manufacturers even figure this out? I mean, they don't just let it sit on a shelf for 5 years, right? Of course not. They use this really clever technique called accelerated aging. They basically put the material in a hot box to fast forward time and see how it holds up. And that little batch number on the container, that's your key. It lets a dentist trace it right back to its manufacturing date to make sure it's fresh.
And this really just boils it down, right? The practical problem is you need the material to stay fresh for a long time. The solution? You test for its shelf life. It's literally the very first hurdle a material has to clear to even get in the game.
Okay, so we're moving on from the quiet, lonely shelf to the second life of the material. And this part, it's a high-stakes, high-pressure race against the clock. Things are about to get intense.
Now, for any material that has 2 or more parts, getting a perfect, totally uniform mix is everything. Sure, you could mix it by hand, but you're kind of rolling the dice on getting it just right. And that's exactly why these encapsulated materials mixed by a machine are so popular now. The proportions are preset, and the machine gives you a consistent, reliable result every single time.
This brings us to a super important concept, working time. This is absolutely crucial. Think of it as the dentist's window of opportunity. It's the time they have from the second they start mixing to get that material perfectly placed and shaped. If they miss that window, the material gets too thick, it's a nightmare to handle, and the whole filling could be compromised. But, and this is a common point of confusion, that's not the same as setting time. The setting time is just the point where the material reaches a certain level of hardness. But here's the key detail. Many materials keep curing and getting stronger for a long time, sometimes for hours, after that initial set. So, look, the clock starts ticking the moment you begin mixing. You got that critical working time window. Once that's over, bam, the viscosity, how thick it is, just skyrockets. Soon after that, it hits its official setting time, but the journey to a full cure and reaching maximum strength, that can take much, much longer. So when you look at this stage, the issues are super practical. Is it easy to use? Is it sticky? Is it drippy? The tests for this measure things like its flow properties. Then, during the setting phase, the key is having a convenient rate of set, and that's where measuring those working and setting times becomes so incredibly important.
All right, the material has survived storage, it's survived the frantic mixing and placements, and it's set. But its biggest, most important job is just getting started. Welcome to its third and final life, performing day in and day out in the incredibly challenging environment of the human mouth.
And honestly, this is where the rubber meets the road. I mean, handling properties are great for the dentist, but long-term durability is what really matters to the patient, right? The material needs mechanical strength to stand up to chewing. It needs good thermal properties to handle your hot coffee and cold ice cream. It needs to be chemically stable so it doesn't just dissolve. And of course, it has to be safe for the body. And hey, it helps if it looks good too.
And this table really sums up the end game, doesn't it? For the set material, the practical issue is simple. Does it look acceptable, and is it durable enough to last? The tests reflect this perfectly, measuring everything from mechanical strength to how well it resists fluids. This is the final exam. So, when you pull it all together, you can see it's like a chain. Every single link has to be strong. You could have a material that is, in the end, the strongest substance known to man. But if it has a terrible shelf life or a ridiculously short working time, it's completely useless. So let's do a super quick recap of this whole journey. Life number 1, storage, is all about protecting that initial potential. Life number 2, the transformation during mixing, is what determines if you can even use that potential successfully. And life number 3, the final properties, determines if the filling is actually going to survive in the long run. And that leaves us with a really interesting final thought. A dental material is only as strong as its weakest stage. A failure in any one of its 3 lives means the entire thing fails. So the question I want to leave you with is, after seeing this entire journey, which life, which property do you think is the most critical for success? It's definitely something to chew on.